Here comes the sophomore to lead things off in the top of the fifth, A.J. Mendolian. He takes this one inside from Mason Kelly for ball one. That the 62nd pitch of Mason Kelly's afternoon. A 3-2 Brook Hill lead, and they lead the series 1-0 in this best of three. This one sweeps across on a slider for a strike. A.J. 0 for 2 today. He flew out to left in the first, and he hit into, well, actually, yes, he hit into a double play in the third. And golfing on this one on a high chopper over to short is Connor Carson, and over in time to tie Overbeek for the 6-3 put out for the first out of the top of the fifth. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, or possibly future pitcher on the mound. We'll have to see. And Caleb Sylvia, and Caleb, of course, was warming up, as we mentioned, in the Saints bullpen for the starter Cade Farr, who was up to 86 pitches in his outing. And Sylvia steps in, and the opening pitch, it's a tailing fastball that tailed so much that Sylvia had to back out. 1 for 2 today is Caleb. He singled back in the first inning and then ground out to third 2 innings ago. The pitch, turn around on this one and hit it to the gap left side of the infield. Past Connor Carson and Jake Schaefer, and on the second pitch, Caleb Sylvia is aboard for the second time today.
The pitcher, number 23, Cade Farr.
Here comes the pitcher, Cade Farr. 0 for 2 today, though he did reach back in the first on an error. So with a runner on and one away here in the top of the fifth inning. Quick check on Sylvia back. But 5 for 5 on stolen bases is Caleb Sylvia, and he takes a healthy 3-step lead. This pitch low and away outside. It counts 1-0. As Caleb Sylvia inches right to the edge of the green of the infield over at first, and he has a good comeback move typically, as he has not been thrown out this year. As we said, 5 for 5 on stolen bases. He had 2 stolen bases last night alone. Sliding back in is Caleb. It took a little while for Caleb, once being reinserted back onto the roster and into the lineup from his wrestling season at All Saints, which was a championship wrestling season here in 2018, yet again for Sylvia. One of the top wrestlers, certainly in taps. Is this high and inside? You talk about chin music. That was cheek music to Cade Farr. And when you're getting that close to the head of a 6'7" senior, yeah, that's a pitch that sails. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 away, runner at first for All Saints. And the deal from Mason Kelly, this does come around belt high. Strike zone, strike 1. Pretty much just an upright stance there for Cade Farr. The 2-1, and this one outside, and the slider called for a strike. That buckled the knees slightly by Farr, who has walked 6 times this year, but has struck out nearly 4 times as much, 22 strikeouts, and he had 2 of those last night, 0 for 3, and called time just at the last moment as Mason Kelly had just started to throw that ball. And so far, no indication whatsoever that Caleb Sylvia, over at first with 1 out, is going to take off anytime soon. We'll keep an eye on that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And there is the runner going and stepping on the bag unassisted at short, but the throw was low and goes past Ty Overbeek, and that will allow Cade Farr on an error to make it to second. He made it to first essentially on what would have been a fielder's choice. And then on the E6, although that was a very nice play over there at short by Connor Carson to pick up the second out unassisted. He couldn't convert the double play. So here comes Todd Thompson, who will be the courtesy runner. 3 for 4 on stolen bases in 2018. Todd Thompson over at second for Cade Farr. And that might be an indication that Cade might be back for the next inning. But Thompson also a lot quicker along the base paths and was actually the starting second baseman at the beginning of the year for about the first half of the season until A.J. Mendolia took over the job and has not relinquished it. 2 away in the top of the 5th, and Logan Britt steps in. Saints trailing by a run, 3-2 to Brook Hill. And here's one guy that can turn it. As this one squirts away from behind the plate of Josh Jenkins, goes to his right, and that allows Todd Thompson to go on a passed ball to third. So it was a called ball to Logan Britt. And as I was about to say, with one guy that can change the narrative with one swing of the bat. In fact, they are playing him quite deep in left field as Campbell Fletcher backs all the way up. And this one hit to the opposite side. It is to first baseman Ty Overbeek, and he'll run over unassisted to step on the bag for the third out. So that will conclude the Saints portion of the 5th inning, as no runs off of one hit. There was an error and one left stranded all over there at third base. And we'll talk about the stranded runners for the Saints and how that has played into this one after this brief timeout. To the bottom of the 5th we go, a 3-2 guard lead on the Saints. Can they guard it? We'll find out on the Texas 24/7 television network.